it might be that you're now in a very beautiful relationship and a really fulfilling intimacy is missing. So you are a good team, maybe you have family, yet the passion, the juice, the spark is gone. And maybe with an ex-partner, you had a fantastic, gorgeous sex life. And now you think like, how can I have this with my partner? I don't want to think about these other partners. So in general, we make something up about being a good lover or great sex. And I'm not saying like that you didn't have good sex with these ex-partners. What I want to say is we make something up about we have to be good lovers. What is a good lover? What is good sex? And obviously everyone can have their own definitions. Yet in this topic, there's also lots of distortion in there and gives a lot of stress to both, probably even more to men than for women, but there's a different version of performance and how to look and how to position and how to moan and how to do and how to do. So this is all very mental. So meaning, in general, let's decondition what we think, what is actually a good lover. So what do we want? Let's make a reset to zero. What do we want and feel when we take out the ego and the pre-teachings, what we got, they are all totally distorted by porn or nothing or friends or even sexual experiences. So how do we actually want to feel? Do we want to feel a beautiful, deep connection to the partner? Do we want to feel nurtured? So when the act of intimacy is done, do we want to feel depleted or disconnected or tired or maybe nurtured and even more connected? And not only for 5 minutes while you had an orgasm and it's everything beautiful, no, but in the end, in your relationship, you want to feel this aliveness and this vibrance in your body. How do we actually reach this instead of going the default?
Yeah, and well, I really like what you said about putting a lot of pressure on men. And we know that men and women are two different species, right? Especially when it comes to sexuality, it's like two different worlds. And for a woman, it's much more deep, it's much more long, and it's much more,
we need these warm-up phases. He should start teasing and pleasing us in the morning and a touch here and a word here. So we need way more preparation.
Exactly. So sex starts in the morning, right? That's the sentence. But for men, it's like myself personally, I get aroused like in 10 seconds, and I can have an orgasm in 1 minute, right? So it's very quick. Everything happens very quick if we don't understand how to hold that energy, how to, move it throughout the body and not release it, which would be the ejaculation. How can we, as men, also learn this part? But that's for another video. But yes, for men, we always are taught to do the best, to be the first, to do things well, right? And I think when men come to intimacy, and that was my case in the past, I'm not being able to relax, because I'm on my mind and having this idea of wanting to perform and what is good sex mean, and having to last and having to please my woman. So there's all these things that society has taught us that we need to accomplish, and nourishing intimacy there's nothing about that. There's nothing about performance. There's nothing to do. A nourishing intimacy for a man is about presence. So how present I am in the act itself, and how I am able to hold my woman, because the woman has to open up, right? And for the woman to open up, and that is also physically, but also emotionally, the man has to give that a space, and that's a masculine principle that we teach. That is the container. That's a masculine principle, so the woman can flow in that container, like water when you put it on a base.
Yeah, on a cup or bowl.
On a glass,
or, yeah.
it flows in the container. So the man would be the glass, and the woman would be the water, right? So that helps the woman just feel herself and open up, right? And there's no performance in there. It's just this focus on the presence of the man and also on the connection with the woman, right? So for example, let's put an example, like a little low sensual kiss can already, you know, help the woman relax and open up and even start doing things just by sensual kiss, right? And not this idea that we have that the man has to all the time, you know, be, you know, being in and out, you know, and like we've seen the videos of pornography and this performance. And this is actually not what we are teaching here in Brad and Lola. It's much more slow, much more sensual, because that's what actually brings the emotional connection, and that's what connects a woman and a man. So not to get out of the topic, but for men especially, we have to relearn what intimacy is. And intimacy is not pleasing my woman, and it's not about lasting longer, because sometimes there can be a very nourishing intimacy just by not having intercourse in the first place. And this can be a mind blower for many men. Like, what are you saying, Bruno? Like, I don't have to be inside to, you know, have a beautiful experience. And the answer is no, not at all. You don't have to do intercourse, which is the word for penetration. You can actually be outside and just, you know, kissing each other, and it's another experience that usually men don't get taught, because why? It involves a lot of presence and it involves emotional connection, and that's very hard for men, because for a man to emotionally connect has to open up and has to, you know, connect with the body, and most men are closed, much more closed than women, since they are boys. Boys are 7 times more sensible than girls. That's why most men live in the mind, because they are not able to connect, because they have holding a lot of things from the past. And touch can be very hard for men, like touching a man, and because the touch goes beyond the mind and goes beyond everything. Touch is the first sense that we develop in the womb of our mothers, right? That's the first sense that we have to understand the world, is the touching the womb of our mother. So touch is a very, you know, deep sense, and in a nourishing intimacy, that's what we are focusing a lot on, is the touch, because the touch is what creates like connection, right? When I touch something, I'm connecting with that something, and that's very deep. And so there you have some ideas of what intimacy can look like, and not having this performance and objective and all these distortions that we have been taught.
And what Bruno said about the penetration. So the whole body, actually, your whole body is a erogenous zone.
Exactly.
So just the genitals, this is just a small thing where you can feel pleasure and experience connection and pleasure. Like literally, and someone going into someone. Yet your whole body is a pleasurable erogenous zone. So when you start resetting and going back to beginner's mind, having no clue about sex, what is mostly so, to be so humble and saying like, oh yeah, we started scratch because everyone wants to be this amazing lover and have to figure it out. No, you don't. So if you want to have a different, a deeper and way more nourishing way of having intimacy, then you go back to zero and start exploring your own body. Bruno was mentioning earlier the thing of, do you actually let your partner know? What do you need? What do you want? What is your desire? The thing is, do you know yourself already? Question mark. Have you explored your own body? Being as humble as, okay, yeah, I have a vagina, I have a penis, but do I actually know more turn-ons of my body, more arousals? Where do I feel good? Is it my neck? Is it on the back? Is it my armpit? Is it my feet? Is it my knee? Like whatever it is, like explore yourself, let your partner explore, and see that your whole body is an erogenous zone. And then we lose step by step, and everything we are teaching here in this video sounds so easy. Obviously we have our juice club where we teach all of this, and we have some other ways to bring the juice back into your relationship. You can check it out on our website. it sounds so easy. Of course, it's a process, yet you start with something like being humble, curious, innocent, and stepping back from we think we have to know, and we go out of our default to be more playful, back to the state of a kid, and more curious about the whole body and the sensations we feel, and use things to play with, maybe a blanket or a feather or a different version of touch. You can do like this, you can do harder, you can do this, you can do so much with your body.
So many exercises,
that's why
what you were saying, I think, is the objective of this video is like, you don't have to know anything to have a nourishing intimacy. You can be like this. Everyone is looking for this mastery of sexual, especially men, no? I'm the sexual master. And actually, knowing so little and nothing at all, you can have a deeply connecting, nourishing intimacy. And yes, of course you will learn with the time, but it's not about knowing anything. It's about being open, being curious, being playful, and having the objective of what? Connecting with your partner. That's the most important. So you don't have to know anything more than that. That the purpose of the intimacy is of connecting deeper, and you will feel whenever your focus is on that. After the feeling afterwards is what we call this nourishing and this vibrance, this juice that you get of life, because that's what you're getting on this energetic exchange that happens, right? There's some people that say that sex is sacred energetic exchange. That's actually the three words of sex, but there's different also definitions.
Yeah, and one more thing to the man and to the woman, like Bruno was mentioning the presence and the holding the space. And actually it's as in a verbal communication. So if you want to really connect with someone, what do you want? One is talking, and the other, what is the other doing? Listening. So what the man is actually doing, he is giving the feminine space by holding the presence. This can be this slow touch, this can be having the lips just on the lips without moving, this can be just the hand on a part, this can be a slow touch, this can be the hand on your vagina without moving. So a woman loves also deep conversations, what is turning her on. So back to verbal communication. Someone, in this case the man or the masculine, is holding the space and is listening. What does this mean? You are present in the moment and listening to the woman's body, and not going by default. Oh, when I do this, then happens this, then happens this, then happens this. No. Like, be there without any expectation, and something has to happen. Now we're jumping to the woman. This is the same. Don't expect anything to happen. This is important for both of you. Don't expect anything. There are days and moments where we are not getting wet, we are not aroused, we are crying, we are carrying emotions, we are carrying stress. And for the man the same, and we are in the mind, we are thinking about whatever we have to do. So landing, being present in the body, and being there, listening to what actually right now in this moment is necessary. When you are having a verbal conversation with someone, you are not jumping into default answers or default behaviors. You are listening. And then you think like, okay, now my response is to exactly what I've heard and felt right now. And this is the same with nonverbal in the body. In the woman, talking about default, you don't have to be this, like, let's say, porn star in a different position, your ass out, you're moaning like this, and you have to be like this, you have to come, that he is fulfilled, and then the thing is over. This is not the intention of sex. So we want to have a nurturing, fulfilling experience. Therefore, we reset and we don't know anything, and we are curious about going, what this body is telling me, what is the sensation. So there's a whole new world. Make space for new experiences, and forget the thing of being a good lover.